I get it 365, 12 months, 24/7. Gotta get it, I need it steady. No one give it all I give. They don't love us, they just love it how we live. How we live. How we live. How we live. They don't love us.
What is up, hockey fans? It's Paco from Clutch Sports, bringing you guys a brand new video. In today's brand new video, I'm going to be talking about the Washington Capitals protection list ahead of the Seattle Kraken expansion draft. So the list hasn't officially came out yet, but I think this should be the list for the Washington Capitals protection list. So let's get right into it. With the forwards, Ovechkin is an FA, a free agent. And you know what? The smartest thing that Ovechkin can do, and obviously I think we are going to see it, is Ovechkin will not sign until after the expansion draft. Therefore, the Washington Capitals can protect an extra player. So forwards, the forwards that I think we should protect are Backstrom, Mantha, Wilson, Sprong, Eller, Sherry, and Oshie. Now, Sherry, a lot of people, think why, at the start of the season, not the start of the season, but like almost midway through the season, a lot of people are saying, why would you put Sherry on that protection list? Washington actually just before the deadline, gave Sherry an extension to 2 years. Sherry had a crazy year with us, and obviously the smart thing is to protect him. Oshie, one thing with Oshie now I see a lot of people talking about is, Oshie, we can expose him to Seattle. But there's actually another player I have in mind that I think we can expose other than Oshie, because to me, Oshie is the heart and soul to this Washington Capitals team. You can tell day in and day out, like, he is the heart and soul. The power play is much better when Oshie's out there. If Oshie's not out there, usually Oshie goes into that bumper position. You got Carlson up at the top, and then you got Ovia in his wheelhouse right at his spot. So yeah, those are the forwards. And then for defensemen, this might come as a shock to some people. The defensemen, so of course, with the 7 forwards, you can only protect 3 defensemen. So the defensemen I have chose to protect are Carlson, Dillon, and Schultz. So, with that being said, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can see who is exposed here. And so let's go over that list. So who gets exposed to Seattle? I have Kuzi as number 1. But I really don't think you're going to see Seattle take Kuzi. Realistically, I think you're going to see Washington try and hang on to Kuzi. Maybe try and work a deal. If Seattle does want Kuzi, maybe try and work a deal with Seattle. A lot of teams have actually did that with Vegas, where Vegas went to pick a player, but that team actually gave up picks and gave them to Vegas. So who knows? Maybe we can work something out with Kuzi there. But second on the list, and who I think is the main exposure, is Orlov. This defense is an aging group. I really don't think Chara is going to be back. I think Chara might retire, and if he does come back, I think he doesn't come back with the Capitals. I think he goes to a different team. So Orlov is really who I think we expose here. I think we keep the forwards. We don't try, and let Kuzi walk off for free. We try and get something for Kuzi. But I really think that Orlov should be the main guy that we should expose. If you guys don't remember, the Washington Capitals back in 2017, when Vegas had their expansion draft, who did Washington Capitals give up in that expansion draft? Who did Vegas take? It was Nate Schmidt, a defenseman. So I really think here Washington is going to unprotect Orlov, and Orlov's going to go. Now, the reason why I say that is because we actually have defensemen, like we have that depth, and we actually have a young kid that actually could take Orlov's spot. And from actually the press conference that I've seen from Peter Laviolette, it sounds like he's high on this young kid and wants to get him some playing time. So with that all being said, with the protection list, with, possibly Kuzi going. Oh, another name I also forgot to is Vitek Vanacek, because we can only protect one goalie, and the goalie that I did protect was Samsonov. Even Peter, wants to have Samsonov not compete in the tournament, the world tournament for Russia. He wants Samsonov, to stay back and train and get ready for next season. And I really do think Samsonov is our number one goalie. I love Vitek, but Vitek has some promises. But if Seattle does want a goalie, they could definitely take Vitek. But like I said, I think the number one exposure is definitely Orlov. So back to what I was saying. After the protection list is done now, I told you guys the exposures. I want to give you guys a lineup that I think would work. I have a lineup suggestion. So starting on the first line, we're going to do the forwards first, and then we're going to do the defensemen. Starting on the first line, we got Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Wilson. I want to see that line back together. I think that's also another thing Kuzi took away from Backstrom. And you know what? Backstrom actually had a really, really great year this year. Really, really good. But I think he can... I want to see that if Ovechkin is going to chase down Wayne Gretzky's record, I really want to see that duo back together. And if they're really going to retire as Capitals, I want to see them back on that line together. And I really think them two, Ovechkin and Backstrom, could really light it up next year if they're back together for the whole season and never get split up. And then Wilson, of course, Wilson's a goal scorer and, of course, throws that body around him and Ovechkin. That duo, big body, could throw their weight around. Second line, I got Sprong on the left wing. I got Eller as center. Eller, I'm going to bump up and take Kuzi's spot. So I'm expecting Kuzi to be shipped out, whether it's in a trade or if we do somehow expose him to Seattle. Eller is going to end up taking his spot. And then I also got Mantha in on the right wing. So Sprong, Eller, Mantha, second line. Third line, now here's the thing. You could swap Oshie and Mantha if you want for second and third line. This is a balance that I think that could potentially work for the Washington Capitals. So third line, I got Oshie. Connor McMichael, I think, just input him in the lineup, see how he does on that third line. With Sherry, I think, you're going to give him two good vets on the side, to elevate his game, to make his game better. So Oshie and Sherry on the side of McMichael in his first rookie year. If Washington does end up calling him up, it would be the most perfect line ever. I think Sherry's productive and Oshie's productive, and both veteran guys that can help McMichael progress. And then, of course, the fourth line, I think, stays the same if, Seattle doesn't take them, which I can't see it, with Orlov and Kuzi potentially not being unprotected. I'm pretty sure they would take Kuzi and Orlov over Hathaway, Dowd, and Hagelin. So, of course, that's the fourth line. It stays the same, Hathaway, Dowd, and Hagelin. Now on to the defense. The defense changes, of course. The pairings could change. I don't know what Peter and the whole Washington organization is gonna do. Like I said, this is just my lineup and what I think is gonna happen. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, for defense, I got the pairings are Carlson and Dillon, Schultz and TVR, which is Trevor Van Riemsdyk, and another player that a lot of Washington Capital fans actually might forget about is Michael Kempny. He was on the 2018 Stanley Cup run. I loved him. It was a solid pickup, and he's been injured ever since. Even this past season, he was supposed to play. Then he was getting ice time with the Hershey Bears, and then something ended up happening where he ended up colliding with an ice maintenance crew person, and he ended up getting injured for the rest of the year. So I expect Michael Kempny to be healthy, and he will be back in the lineup next year, 100%. So with the last pairing, I got Kempny, and if I'm pronouncing his name right, Fairvary, Martin Fairvary. He is the young defenseman that Peter Laviolette has been talking about just yesterday in the press conference, that he wants to see this young defenseman get some ice time. So I could see him fitting in right here. I think this is a solid 6 if Chara leaves. I do think Chara's going to leave. I mean, he did play solid. He played solid minute for us. He was a great defenseman. But I think I like this group here. Like I said, Carlson, Dillon, Schultz, TVR, Kempny, and Fairvary. So that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I just wanted to go over the protection list for the Washington Capitals ahead of the expansion draft for the Seattle Kraken, and give you guys a little feed on about the lineup that I think that would work perfect next year for Washington. So if you guys have any questions or any input, leave it down in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload. And smash like on that. Smash the like button. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one. It's been your boy Paco, and I'll see you guys in the next one.